Drew from iHeartRadio and Y100. You are listening to the On the Mic podcast, the best podcast out there.
Okay, so do you want to introduce yourself to everyone who is listening or watching this video?
What's up, guys? I'm Drew. I'm here in Miami. I work for iHeartRadio and Y100. I do the afternoon show, also the music director, and I also do the night show in Denver. So, yeah, man. And I'm excited to be on the podcast, the On the Mic podcast. We're here.
Yay. Okay, let's get the first question started. So the first one is, how did you get into the radio business?
Oh man. I did so much free work. I mean, I interned. I'll tell you how it actually started. I did an internship in Orlando for a radio station, and I fell in love with it. I loved it. I was a promotions intern, and I'm like, this is so awesome. And my internship was ending, and people from my internship group actually got hired onto the team, but not me. I didn't get hired. So I went to the boss and I'm like, listen, I don't know what I got to do. I love this. And she's like, there's just not a spot for you and all this kind of stuff. I said, what if I intern again? Like, what if I'll work for free for longer? So she's like, you're going to do that. And I actually interned again. And in about 2 months into that internship, they offered me a position at that station. And that's kind of where I got started in Orlando. Yeah.
Wow,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Started as a part-time promotions person, and then got on the radio, and I was doing overnights and doing bits and different things like that, kind of the street guy, and things just kind of snowballed. So
wow, that's super cool and awesome. Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. How is it working for iHeartMedia? How is that like?
iHeart's a great company. I really enjoy being here. I'm grateful to work for such an incredible company that, I mean, everybody knows. You're hard pressed to go somewhere that somebody has not heard of iHeartRadio. I love the company. They've given me incredible opportunity. I came in as a part-time promotions person.
Yeah.
And that was 8 years ago. I came into iHeart, and I've climbed the ladder and kind of worked my way up and worked my ass off for this company. So I love it. They've been good to me, and I work for this heritage radio station, the longest running top 40 station in the country. Y100. It's actually a station that I grew up listening to. Like I'm a fan of radio through and through. And I grew up listening to this station, so I'm really I'm honored to work for iHeart and Y100 in particular, for sure.
That's awesome. How is it going to be on Y100?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. It really is. It's again, it's a station I grew up listening to. Yeah. I remember my mom would always kind of call into the radio station at that time, and this is like 20 years ago. My mom went to FAU here in Boca, and she would call into the radio station. And actually, no, they were running this contest at the time. This is years ago, right? And they would call you, and if you answered the phone, like Miami's #1 hit music station, Y100, like if you said that as you answered the phone, you would win tickets or cash or whatever they were giving away. So it's funny. I remember being in the car, my mom, like the phone ringing, and my mom going, Miami's #1 hit music station, Y100. And they'd be like, it's your son. Like, why are you answering the phone like that? So, yeah, I mean, there's just so much history with this radio station. And, being from South Florida, it just means the world to be a part of this legacy.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you like about getting to work for Y100?
About working for Y100?
Yeah. What do you like about?
I mean, the atmosphere is incredible. We have the best listeners in the world. I mean, the people that listen to our radio station are amazing. They're loyal. They're plugged in. My show is extremely segment driven. I have a lot of segments. There's a lot of features, and people weigh in and they call in all the time. And, we have the best listeners in the world, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the story that I told you about my mom listening to Y100, I talk to listeners all the time that call into the station, and they say the same thing, where they're like, man, I've been listening since I was, in college, or I've been listening since I was a kid because my parents are. So it's really cool to kind of hear those stories because I grew up with those as well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How did you get hired for like iHeart and all that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, like I said, I kind of started as an intern, and this was for another company actually in Orlando, and I saw a posting online and a buddy of mine kind of sent it over to me because I was kind of stagnant where I wasn't really moving up, and I wasn't getting the look, and I was young, just hungry, that kind of thing. And I'm from South Florida. I was living in Orlando at the time because I was going to school, which I actually dropped out of school to do radio. Thought I was gonna make it a little bit earlier. Like I thought things were gonna pan out for me a little bit better at the time, but they didn't. But yeah, I saw a posting, I came here and I applied. And it's funny, I'll tell you a quick story. I when I came here and applied for this job, and it was for a promotions person, and promotions people are out in the streets, they set up tents and all this kind of stuff, and the prize wheels and everything. And I had a broken arm at the time.
Oh wow.
I crashed my scooter after drinking. Never drink and ride a scooter. I crashed my scooter and I broke my arm. So when I came down here to apply for the job, he's like, "How you gonna pop a tent? You got a broken arm." And I'm like, "Yo, I can pop a tent with one arm. I'll run circles around anybody you got. I've been doing this forever." And long story short, he ends up giving me the opportunity, and I started, as a part-time promotions person here in Miami for iHeartRadio.
Wow, that's awesome.
With a broken arm.
Wow, that's awesome. That's very interesting. Where did you go to learn how to be a radio DJ? Yeah, did you like go to college or anything, or like?
So I went to school. I went to college at Valencia Community College for audio production. So I didn't really learn radio there. They had a program where they had a college radio station, but there wasn't really a class for it.
Yeah.
It was just like, here's some equipment. I actually have a picture of like the equipment. There was cords everywhere. It was nothing like this, And some schools, they have a radio station and a radio program. This school kind of didn't. So there was really no direction at that time. But I was going to school for audio production. So I was working in studios. I was making beats, that kind of thing. I was really involved in that side of it. So I didn't really go to school for it. And to answer your question, how did I learn? I've made so many mistakes along the way that I've learned from, that have kind of, you figure out what not to do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I made my way in radio. I mean, I did so many crappy talk breaks for a long time that I'm like, all right, never going to do that again. Never going to do that. Maybe if I do this, it'll make it a little bit better. And I think that's just the way to, to get better. A lot of people do go to school for it. I didn't have that opportunity to go to radio broadcasting school, but you figure it out.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Is interning very important? Like, what do you recommend? Like, if someone wants to like get into the radio business and wants to like be a radio DJ, should they like do like interning? Like, what do you recommend?
I think, the best way to, I mean, I don't know that like iHeart doesn't offer internships per se anymore, but I know that other companies still do. A lot of times they'll hire you as a part-time promotions person or a part-time on air. I'm a big fan of like, like radio is something that I fell in love with. So I'm like, I know that this is going to work at some point. So if it's something that you love to do and that like it doesn't feel like work, you love to do it, you'll put the time and energy and work into being the best. You start at the bottom, like you start anywhere. I'll mop floors here to just be in the building, and I'll figure it out along the way. Like, I think that if you want to do radio, you apply for everything, even if you don't want to be the traffic person or you don't want to, be the promotions person, you just do it. It gets your foot in the door. You start being able to, people start seeing your face. You start having conversations with other people, and all of a sudden things kind of open up. So wherever you can, for anybody trying to get into radio, wherever you can get in, always look on the sites, iHeartMedia careers, get in and work hard.
That's good. like that. And is college like important getting like getting a career in the radio business? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that college is definitely important. Like
Mm-hmm.
continuing education
Yeah.
is always great.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have the means to do that and
Mm-hmm.
can continue on with that, and other people don't. I mean, I do you need it for, a lot of people have communications degrees that are here,
Mm-hmm.
broadcast journalism degree, that kind of thing. Do you need it? No. I mean, I don't have one,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it probably helps. Like you
Yeah.
learn a lot of things along the way about interviewing or
Mm-hmm.
how to talk or things like that. I'm sure that
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for that, so I don't know necessarily what they teach you and that kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's higher learning, so
Yeah.
as long as you're learning like that, you can't go wrong. So I would,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you got to continue on with school for sure.
Yeah. I like that. That's good. For anyone who wants to be a radio DJ for iHeart, what do you recommend they should do?
Yeah, I mean, again, just you just want to keep looking on the websites, keep
Mm-hmm.
looking. They post every job position, they have to post online
Mm-hmm.
to for everybody to have a fair shot to get in.
Yeah.
So I think showing up to some of the events,
Mm-hmm.
meeting people, learning the radio jocks, coming out to
Mm-hmm.
some of the gigs, saying hi, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, you're rubbing shoulders with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always one of my old mentors always told me, you got to shoot your shot. Like, you got to tell somebody what you want, and eventually you're going to tell somebody that can make it happen for you, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen unless, like, closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to ask for it. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think that being around people who are in the industry is a great start for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, mixed with filling out the job applications and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
What is the hiring process like for iHeart?
man, it's been 8 years, and I was so nervous. I don't even remember what the hiring deal was. I mean, I walked in and I interviewed,
Mm-hmm.
and again, like I'm interviewing for a position that I had to throw tents up, and I have a broken
Yeah.
arm, so I'm literally walking in there like, there's no way I'm gonna get this job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was so nervous. I don't really remember what the questions were, or how it
Mm-hmm.
went. I was just like, you know, um, I'm ready to work,
Yeah.
and let's make it happen. I think that my credentials at the time from being at the other radio station in Orlando were
Mm-hmm.
kind of what they were looking for. I wasn't necessarily somebody that they had to train,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that worked to my benefit. Interning and
Yeah.
working part time for that promotions team, because that's the position they were looking for. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, the hiring process for iHeart, it's standard. I would
Yeah.
say, you walk in, you interview, and give it your all.
Is a radio like is a on air check important? And if so, how like would you recommend like someone like making one?
Yeah, definitely an air check is important for
Mm-hmm.
sure. You want to try to put one together if you can, and you're doing a podcast, so that's
Yeah.
really cool. You can pull air checks from your podcast and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's another great way to get started as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, an air check is definitely important. It's funny. I listen to my very first air check every once in a while, because
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad. Like,
Yeah.
it is so bad. And it's from like my college radio show, which was like, it was absolutely terrible. And I actually gave it to the boss at the station in Orlando, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Dude, this is so bad. Like, it's trash." But it's like, you got to kind of start somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Like, you get an air check, and you listen to it, and you figure out how you make it better, and then you do
Mm-hmm.
another one in a couple weeks or a couple days, and
Yeah.
then you do another one, and then keep building and keep making it better. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the things that you want to think about when you're doing an air check is being like, timely,
Mm-hmm.
topical, and local.
Yeah.
Talk about what is happening
Mm-hmm.
here. I mean, I'm in Miami. There's a lot to
Yeah.
talk about, a lot happening right now, so those are important things to
Mm-hmm.
take into account when you're putting together an air check.
Yeah. That's good. And last question is for anyone who wants to get a mentor, should they message the local radio DJ? What do you recommend?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Ask, find somebody that you're like, man, this person's career is really kind of what I envision for myself.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I mean, ask them questions. Instagram's a great situation
Yeah.
for something like that, because there's a lot of people that don't DM you back, but there are people
Mhm.
that like will take the time and message people back, and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And yeah, I think that's a great way to do it, and it's also a
Mhm.
great way to kind of see what people are doing, like how
Mhm.
people are going about being a radio personality. You can
Mhm.
you can mirror some of that and put your own touch to it. But yeah, in terms of mentors and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, you could DM somebody and say, hey, I'm looking for pointers here,
Mhm.
or I need a mentor and some advice about this, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely the way to do it for sure. Instagram or
Yeah.
social media.
And then for anyone who wants to check you out and follow you, yeah, where should they like check you out on?
Gotta get me on IG, Instagram at Drew on Air. Definitely check me out there. And I'm dropping a podcast in a little bit. It's called The Hot Seat. We've
Ooh.
done a few episodes, but I haven't put anything out yet.
Hmm.
So that's coming out on YouTube at The Hot Seat Potty.
Mhm.
And of course, iHeartRadio. You can listen to me in Miami at
Yeah.
Y100 Miami. Hit the follow button on the iHeartRadio. And also 95 hits 95.7 in Denver too at nighttime. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, follow me, follow my journey. It's been fun. It's gonna be more fun.
Yay. That's good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.